Dr. Shin, honoured guests and nurses of South Korea, it is my very great pleasure to bring greetings from the International Council of Nurses, the ICN President, Dr. Pamela Cipriano, the whole of the ICN board, and our more than 130 national nursing associations, to all of you on this, the occasion of the KNA Nurses Assembly. We know that nurses around the world have done a phenomenal job in terms of responding to the COVID pandemic. But it has not been without taking its toll on nurses' physical and mental health. And we have just released a report called Sustain and Retain, which outlines the impact of the pandemic on nurses right the way around the world. But what we also know is that nurses are absolutely key to the recovery from the pandemic and for achieving the ambitions of universal healthcare coverage, ensuring access to people everywhere, addressing non-communicable diseases and our ageing populations. And it is for both those reasons that ICN believes that national laws and national regulations can absolutely help to support and strengthen the current nursing workforce, but to ensure that the nurses and nursing workforce is fit, ready and supported to address all of those health challenges that people in South Korea and around the world are facing. Let me explain a little bit more. I was privileged to chair the recent State of the World's Nursing report. We did this work together with the World Health Organization, and it highlights the importance of legal frameworks and regulations to nursing in relation to regulation, ensuring that nurses are fit to practice, that in some places the title nurse is protected so that you know if you're receiving care from a registered nurse, that is indeed who they are. That there are regulations to support the education of nurses to ensure they have the right competencies and skills, the hours that they do both to become a nurse, but then also support for their ongoing professional development. And also regulations and laws to ensure that nurses' working conditions are safe and free from violence, from discrimination, that there are equal opportunities for career development, there's equity in relation to pay. And in some places, those regulations stipulate the numbers of nurses that are required in different clinical settings. More than 90% of countries have laws and regulations in place, and in somewhere like Europe, there are European-wide directives, laws that cover these issues. Some people think that in Europe the directive is just about the regulation or education of nurses. There are laws that govern those issues, but there are also laws that refer to and support nurses' working conditions, working time, their safety at work as well. It's often referred to as the social dimension of the European Union. From that State of the World's Nursing report that we then took and developed a strategy, a global strategy for nursing, again with WHO, and that strategy calls on all countries to strengthen its laws and its regulations to support nursing education, nursing practice, nursing jobs, and also leadership. Nursing leadership is critically important. It's important because nurses make up about 60% of our healthcare workforce. We hear people everywhere talk about nurses being the backbone of our health systems, the foundation stones on which good healthcare is delivered. And of course, we need that nursing experience and expertise in relation to delivery of health systems around the top tables where policy decisions are made. But it's not just delivery, it's also the expertise that nurses bring about how we design our health systems, how we innovate, how we make sure that our health systems really deliver for the people in our countries as well. So that nursing leadership around those top health systems and health policy tables, we believe, are critical to the strengthening of healthcare within all countries. More than 70% of countries have a chief nursing officer, and we've seen in recent days announcements from Russia and also from Canada recognising the importance of the chief nursing officer role and bringing forward those positions for those countries. These are all important, as I said, in terms of supporting and investing in the nurses that we currently have, but they're also critical to building stronger health systems. Around the world, we know that there has been a build-up of healthcare needs. People who've put off going to their hospital, their doctors, their clinics because of COVID. Waiting times, waiting lists are expanding. In addition, we know that in many parts of the world, populations are ageing, more people have non-communicable diseases. If we look at the work that nurses, experienced specialist advanced nurses do, they're increasingly leading the care for those people, managing their own caseloads, being the healthcare practitioner that the patient most frequently and regularly sees. And if you look at the evidence, you see that as well as delivering great outcomes for people, patients are highly satisfied with the care that they're receiving from nurses who are working in some of those advanced and extended roles. So nurses also have the solution for how we rebuild after the pandemic, how we make sure that our health systems are stronger and that we deliver on the global ambitions of universal health coverage, of meeting the Sustainable Development Goals. And it is for all of those reasons that ICN supports nurses right the way around the world in bringing forward regulations and laws which will help to underpin the profession. It's why we are so honoured to work with KNA, to support KNA, and I want to acknowledge the phenomenal leadership of Dr. Shin as well. KNA is highly respected by our national nursing associations around the world. Korean nurses are regarded as exemplars of a country that other places look to for leadership as well. I wish you well for your assembly. I'm sure it will be a phenomenal success. Please be assured of the continuing support from the International Council of Nurses. We will continue and are honoured to be able to support, to help, to work with you as we come together to deliver what is our common objective, the best possible healthcare that there can be for people in South Korea and people right the way around the world. Thank you very much and have a great Nurses Assembly.